see when it's happening. And now it's setting up. Now we're live on Facebook. Gallery view. Now we're both live on Facebook. Awesome. So welcome everyone. We are here together, Lanie Smith and I, Astrid Mueller. We are here with a really cool play shop for you all. If you feel you crave more play in your life and more synergy and balance, and you have big dreams and goals, but it feels hard, or you're just really craving to find easier ways because you don't want to work that hard, and we don't have to. So I'm here. Lanie Smith is a, you called it vitality coach. Is that right, the right title?
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Registered art therapist has kind of been my background. And I'm also a coach, and I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona, and excited to be here for our play shop.
Yes, I am super excited too.
Froze on me.
Yeah, you too, but we got it. We're back on track, and we're going with the flow.
So yeah, get our connection back here.
That's okay. Don't worry, it will come back. So I'm here on Kodiak Island, Alaska, and both Lanie and I discovered in our lives and in our career and in our businesses, dream business, that we had burnout moments. Yeah, no worries. I'm just keep going. And I'm rocking it, and you will too. So we're all good. I was just saying that both you, Lanie, and I, we had times in our dream business and careers where we literally went into a burnout space, and we discovered for ourselves that art and intuition and this alignment, this soul alignment, literally changed our lives. And we found a ton of different tools that are really playful, including being in nature. This is why Lanie is like braving the wind outside. Yes, all of that. There is so much magic in that, to do a lot less and feel a lot happier, and a lot bigger things start happening in your life. So this workshop is for you if you're ready to consider like tapering down or letting your hustle go and find more balance and flow. So Lanie, do you want to say briefly or introduce yourself a bit more of like your background, like before we dive into the actual play shop, like a bit more what you do?
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I kind of zoned out there. We lost the connection for a minute, and so I didn't get to hear exactly what you said, but I think I heard you sharing a little bit of our background and how we both hit our own burnout. And for me, it's been a bit of a journey. You know, the very beginning of my career as an art therapist, I was doing international research, and I was working with, you know, very heavy scenes of war and trauma. And so I learned very early on in my career that things could, you know, be difficult if I were to stay in my profession as a helper and healer. And so I started seeing that self-care and play had to be a really integral part. And so even from the very beginning, it's been like a decade now that I began that portion. It has been a thread throughout my entire career to just keep cultivating that. And the more I leaned into it, and eventually, you know, kind of let the hustle go, I surrendered basically. You know, I got to a place where I just couldn't do it anymore. I was having health problems, and I was only trying to squeeze my play in around all the work. And now the order is reversed.
Nice.
You know, I play as much as I can so that I can show up happy, joyous, and free when I'm with clients, and they really get the best version of me.
Yeah. I love how you shared that reverse thing, and I actually have a very similar experience, and I have a little drawing for that to illustrate how that happened for me. So Lanie and I, we both have our own dream business that we're growing, and for me, what happened when I started mine, it was like putting a boat to the sea, right? So here's this heart, like I have my heart passion business, and I put a boat to the water. And then, of course, I had to do something. So I'm like, all right, I need to take some action. And this is what I did. Like, I started to hustle and I put out kind of the sale of all these individual action steps, like very masculine, like energy of like, whoo. And I always thought I was not doing enough. Like, I worked like late nights. I slept bad. Like my friends were telling me like, oh my gosh, you did so much and you still think you're not doing enough. And like, so, and I also had some health issues and like stressed out, all kinds of things. So literally how it felt for me was, it felt like the boat was sinking. At some point, I realized like, this is not working. I felt heavy, like physically, literally. And I felt that I was losing my joy of life even. It was like that heavy in my heart that like none of the tasks worked anymore. You know, like I just felt like blocked, got that bad. So what happened, I realized it's not working at all. So I took that sail down and I started again. And then I said, okay, so what's the deal here? What can I do? And I went on a journey actually to look for alternative ways of feeding my heart and my soul. And I started talking to psychics. I got coaching sessions from intuitives, and I played with intuition myself. What happened was I found my inner voice, kind of like up here, our higher selves, like the wisdom that we have inside that we can't access from our hustle mind. I found access to that, and that's the access to my heart. So what I did is like I tuned into that and universe wisdom, like all those hunches that come when we're ready to hear, right? We don't hear all those things when we're just hustling. So I found that. And what happened was at this point was that I got, here you see like this super tiny sail. So I suddenly got these great intuitive inspirations, like those hunches in the shower. When I was running outside in nature, I would get like, oh, just do this little bit. And that's perfect right now. I got really easy, light feeling, awesome intuitive nudges of what I can do. And I did those. And while doing a lot less, right, I was outside and suddenly like what happened was like this big sale showed up, and it's like the universe coming in, and like really big things started to happen where like customers showed up like when I'm sleeping. Suddenly things aligned and opportunities showed up, the right teacher showed up. So this is what you can do too. And this is what creativity can literally help you access. Creativity comes from the heart. It connects to your soul. And this is what we're doing here to help you also really find this forward flow with ease and happiness and joy and feeling good. So that's it. So let's start and dig right in. That was a quick introduction from us. So we have a juicy little play shop for you all here where you get to play with us. And at the end, we will also have an actual workshop challenge, like an 8-day soul, what did I call it? Or we had a really cool name for it. I'm just going to give a teaser. It's a Sacred Synergy Challenge, a transformation challenge.
Transformational challenge.
Yes, exactly. So, transformational challenge over 8 days, where with only 8 minutes per day, you can literally transform your life. So we're super excited to play with you. And today what we're doing now is we're going to give you a small experience of how this can feel and what we will play with, so you can meet us and whatnot. And then in those 8 days, you will be able to see us once briefly every day and play bigger and really transform your ways. So let's dive right in. Lanie, you had a cool opening thing that you wanted to start with. You want to tell us more?
I loved hearing your story too. You know, I think that we have so many parallels. And so everything you were describing about being in flow and connecting with your intuition is very much what I have experienced too. And I really found it through nature. You mentioned you got those little nudges while you were out running or, you know, doing your own thing. And that's really how I came into some of the activities that I'm going to share today, because of my own wanting to nurture myself and my spirit. I too was in a business and starting private practice about 5 years ago, and I just completely was juggling so much and burning both ends of the handle, so to speak. And so eco art was really an instrumental part of me getting back to health. And so I'll describe that a little bit, but as you can imagine,
Nice.
eco meaning of nature and art, combining those two. So what I want to invite you to do, and anyone who's with us, is really to just kind of settle and tune in. So we're going to kind of have an eco art experience, so you can kind of hear what it's like to listen within and connect to nature and connect to your own natural creativity, and really listen and see where it takes you. So I want you to just kind of start by stopping and taking a deep breath and just begin to observe your environment. So as you can see, I'm outside. I have lots of little things to observe. I see my dog sitting nearby, and I'm listening to the birds. And so just notice as you begin to observe your environment, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you feel, what you sense. And if you're inside, you can do this simply by noticing if there's a plant nearby or an animal, or even if you're near a window and you can see the sun or feel it coming through on your skin. If you can hear the wind, if you're near a window or outside, just noticing. So you can really do this whether you're inside or outside. And I want you to just pause and notice what you're naturally attracted to. And if you can make it a natural attraction or a natural object, that would be great. So even if it is just your breath, because that is a natural thing, right? We can't manage without the breath. So just follow and see if you can stay with that for at least 10 seconds. And just really be with your natural attraction. And you can do this with eyes open or eyes closed. And just pull your attention to any internal sensation that you may have. And begin to notice what you experience as you connect with this natural attraction. And so there's no judgment here. We're just being curious. And as you stay with that, just take a moment here to express any gratitude that you can for having this natural attraction. Because when we follow what we're naturally attracted to, usually results in good feelings. So just enjoy those natural feelings, those natural sensations of being attracted to whatever it is that calls to you. And just see if it inspires some sort of intention. We're on this play shop to ignite more play and creativity and flow and ease. So your intention may very well be around that theme, or perhaps there's something else calling for your attention. But just notice what that is. And just let yourself become aware of what you would like to take away from our time together. And when that feels clear, you're welcome to jot that down in your journal or just note it for yourself. And just let it be there loosely. And when that feels complete, now that we've had time to connect to our environment and connect to ourselves, connect to our intention, we will make time to play. So, as part of this, we have asked everyone to just bring at least something to draw with and to have something to kind of doodle on. And so, just as a reminder, this play that we're talking about today is very much a natural part of who we are. Our sense of play has evolved, and it's very much an urge and a drive, the same as we have the drive to eat and sleep and all of these things. Like, play has allowed us to evolve to this point because it has created the ability to adapt to our environment. So this is very important to be able to do this in order to maintain that sense of well-being. Because as we've talked about, both of our experiences led to burnout when we weren't playing enough. So,
and can I say something real quick?
Please,
oh my gosh,
please.
All these things are coming up. So and also like growth, right? Because if we don't play and explore, we stay in the rut and we just do what all others do. And that doesn't necessarily fit to what we really want in our hearts. And also we're just following somebody else's path, and we don't want that for you. That did not make me feel good at all. We want you to follow your own path and your power, right? So
absolutely.
I also wanted to quickly share, if you're okay, and I want to invite everybody watching this on Facebook, or if you're watching the replay, to share with us what came up for you in this beautiful meditation mindfulness moment that you did, Lanie. So for me, what came up is like, I noticed feathers that I have here, and I can show briefly, like, this is my playground in my creative corner. So yeah, there's a tree too, but so here's a feather, and this is actually a boat that I created, crafted. Here's a feather that I was looking at. This boat is actually reminiscent of that metaphor that I shared in the drawing. But then I also, this is my sacred play corner here.
Oh, you have so many fun things.
I know, it's kind of crazy, but I love it. And so there's feathers too. Like, you can see over, I don't know if you can see it over there. There's red, I like 2 red feathers. So I was really drawn to those. And what I got personally, a lot of metaphors that came to me as I was just tuning into what I was drawn to. What does it mean to me? And for me, feathers meant playfulness and power and flying, because they're like red, and like birds are so powerful. Energy, so that's what came to me from that question. And then the takeaway wish that came to me. Oh, I noticed like a body sensation too. I noticed like almost like wax was melting inside of me, like helping me ground. It really felt good in my core, just listening to you. And then, yes, takeaway wish for myself, because we're playing with you all. This is like a live thing. We're not just doing this for you as teachers, but we're enjoying everything we do for ourselves. We always grow. So for me, it's
ease and flow.
Yes. For me, it's grounding and power is my intention, to ground more in my power as I walk away. So there you go.
Love it. Yeah, no, I'm so glad that you shared and kind of, modeled that for us, how this can look and feel. And I love getting to see your play corner too. That was fun. And now you'll actually get to use some of that stuff, because I think, one thing that you were sharing, I had a ping that I wanted to comment on, was this idea of play. You talked about getting all these ideas when you allow yourself to do that. And there's this idea of play is kind of inherently unproductive when we're playing, but it is producing, it's generating growth within us. So even though it's unproductive in the moment, because we don't understand it linearly, what we're producing, it comes as a byproduct. So I think that's really important for people to remember. It's like while we're out playing, things are percolating, so that when we come back to the work, quote unquote work, that we come back to it with new and fresh. And this is where innovation and creativity just thrive.
Yes. And I actually had like actual productivity also happen when because what is productivity anyway? We could go on a tangent, like the definition of this, right? How do you measure productivity? Because like I literally up level every day by tuning into my intuition and creativity. And I feel I am getting more and more powerful and living my dream more powerfully and doing bigger things and bigger opportunities show, right? That's a level of productivity when you suddenly co-create with dream clients and for dream clients. You're like in a different space. So yeah, and also I found like new wisdom, new coaching methods, and new intuitive drawing techniques as well, just by playing. That suddenly these things pop up. So it's amazing. So Lanie just froze for a second, so I'm going to give her some space to. There you are. Perfect.
It was getting a little wobbly there. So I didn't get to hear that last part. Are we ready to play?
Yes, we're totally perfect timing. You pop back on, ready to play. Yes.
I trusted that would happen. All right. So in your situation, you would have an opportunity to kind of return to your feather. And for anyone watching or with us, you can return to your natural object. Mm-hmm. And it could be a new one if you feel drawn to that. But the invitation here is to really just return to your natural object or your natural attraction, and that you previously connected with, and let it really guide you in this. So we're kind of just asking for permission here. We're asking for permission to engage with your natural object in a way that it can lead you and guide you. And we're going to let it guide you in selecting some art materials. Ooh. So just trust that whatever you have handy, you can grab from. And we're not going to overthink this. This really is, there's no planning, there's no thinking. We're just going to follow your instincts with curiosity and let yourself play with the materials, creating the first thing that comes to mind. So it could be a color, a shape, an image. It could be a scribble. And so if you feel at all that you're unable to act quickly, if your tendency is to want to think about it and plan it, then I would invite you to close your eyes here. Mm-hmm. Or alternatively, you can use your non-dominant hand. So for example, I'm right-handed and I could draw with my left hand. So I'm going to give, you tell me about how long do you think for this activity? Because I want to give plenty of space to play.
I think I love that you said that you don't have to overthink it and just do something. So we could even just say close your eyes, grab a color, whatever you have to create something, and 1 minute, quickly scribble. It doesn't have to be pretty, right? We're not thinking, right. But we're actually
we do not want it to be pretty.
Yeah.
Actually.
So yeah. So, and this is what I do too. This is actually part of intuitive drawing techniques. I have a bag here. I'm just pulling some colors out of that, and I will just draw something. So, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be the timer so that you can play too, and we'll say go for a minute, and then 2 minutes maximum. That way, you guys really can't overthink it. And so I'll be mindful of the time, and go ahead and just dive in and create the first thing that comes out.
Awesome. Getting a new page. Here we go.
I'm going to play it on here too.
Cool. Awesome. And we'll love to see comments. If you catch us on Facebook, we will get to questions later and comments because we're recording this as a webinar and we're here live. But yeah, post anything that comes up. Sharing also helps you grow, and we can address your flow and grow. All right, so
She's rhyming.
Yeah, that happens when I open to intuition. It just comes to me.
Okay, well, I think we've had 1 minute, so
Nice.
if you're close to done, feel free to wrap up. And if you could use a few more seconds, just find a decent stopping point.
Nice. I can't wait to share. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
Yeah, cool. Yes, so I can share. So I pulled from, I have a creative bag that has all kinds of playthings in there. This is my bag, and I have scrapbooking things in there, colors and crayons. And so what I felt inspired to pull from is like scrapbooking stuff. So I pulled one thing, and this thing came out, and that's like an empty bag. And that almost, to me, it feels like, oh, it's like I can put anything in there. I'm opening to new wisdom, new things, right? It's this blank canvas. It's really cool inspiration. And then I pulled from my crayon bag, which is like literally like oil pastels. They're wild in there. So I was closing my eyes and not looking at the colors. And then I pulled this pan, like just popped out as I was looking over. Fiery pink fuchsia. So this is what showed up for me, and it was inspired by the feather. And I wasn't really thinking; I was just doodling stuff. Yeah. So do you want me to answer anything of like what comes to it? Or like I'll take.
I have a few questions really to help
Cool.
you. You're really good at this, so you kind of dive right in and pull it out.
I need to step back.
No, you're great. So because you're so good at that, you probably don't even need these reflection prompts. But for those who are with us, I want to give just an invitation to consider a title. And that would be, something that you could do is just consider the first thing that kind of comes to mind to describe your image. And then just take a couple minutes here to journal how it felt to play. Any thoughts and feelings that come to mind when you look at the artwork and you consider the title. And while you do that, I am thoroughly enjoying my dog playing. She is
nice.
running all over the place playing. It's very appropriate.
Which, by the way, is a really cool live reflection of how the universe works. When we're open to observing, we actually get just the right inspirations at the right time. And energy is also contagious. So when we're in a playful energy, your dog's probably picking that up.
Oh, totally.
I always get that when I work with Kavita, her kids are always reflecting the energy of the coaching calls. That's really amazing.
That's great. So while everyone else is kind of thinking about a title, I'm going to actually do the same, and I'll share my my drawing too.
Yes. And while you do that, I'm going to hop on Facebook and see if we have any comments, and then I will, in between, address them.
Wonderful. And for those of you who are watching or listening, I would also encourage you to consider, if your art could speak, what would it say? You know, if it were just like one
Ooh,
line.
that's a great question. Oh, Lynette is live with us. That's so awesome.
Who's that? Who's live with us?
Lynette
Lynette. Okay.
Morrison. Yes, and I saw like
Wonderful.
Vicky Fayan is watching right now. So if you want to join us and sharing what comes up for you, Vicky, and we're playing. So
Yes,
you may
we're
have to
playing big time.
rewind depending on depending on when you started.
So
Love
I'm
to
just
see
going to
comments. No,
show mine real
go ahead.
quick.
Yes.
Since you did too. Oh, and before I do
Ooh.
that, I want to read, because this is a beautiful journal that I have. It's Brave Intuitive Painting
Whoa,
Journal
that's so cool.
by Flora Bowley. And so it has different, you know, her artwork in it that I find inspiring, and
Whoa, I
quotes.
love it.
And
Mhm.
so this was my natural inspiration.
I
And
like
I loved
it.
how it was dancing on the table. It kept moving around because the wind was flowing through. So it
Aw.
almost seemed like it was playing to me. And so I just captured it really quickly with the oil pastels.
Nice.
And my title was Time to Thrive.
Ooh.
And I just said that I loved diving in. And, you know, that's true of the way that I do art in general, is just kind of dive in, try not to overthink it. But for me, this felt more like the loved diving in felt almost like it connected to us doing the webinar, because this is, you know, new territory for me, and
Mhm.
not something that I've done specifically with interactive, you know, online. These are things I've done
Yes.
locally in workshops and
Yes.
stuff. So to me, that felt like the diving in was very much about the technology. And so I had asked everyone to say, you know, if your art could speak, what it would say.
Mhm.
You want to share yours first, or you want me to share mine?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I haven't answered that question yet. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So mine says, you are growing rapidly.
Ooh, that's
That
so
was the first thing.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on a second.
Yeah. Take your time.
It would say that is such
Because
a
for
cool question.
those of you who are still with us and watching and listening, I would also have you consider, in addition to what your art would say if it could speak, what lesson it really has for you today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just inviting a few people who are interested. I'm just hitting like invite random.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There we go. Yeah. So here for me, so I got just the word pow that just came up, like pow, and then from low to flow
Mm-hmm.
as a title, and then how it felt. So just like a few words that popped to mind is like just a sense of curiosity and adventure and fun and deep. It feels deep to just be present and to not think. It's almost like you turn off your brain as you're just taking colors and you just like whatever.
Yeah, turning off
And
the
then
monkey mind.
yeah, exactly. And then also it felt funny because this is like such a funny metaphor to fill your bag with new things. And
Yeah,
it felt inspiring. And
bag of
then
tricks.
yes, that too. Yeah, like all kinds of things make you think of. And then what it would say, I'm just getting funny noises. It's like because it's like crazy.
I love
So
that,
there.
because play is so non-verbal. You know, it's like pre-verbal and very sensory. So the fact that you just had sounds, you know, rather than words is perfect. It's really perfect.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. Awesome, very cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because I did kind of throw out the question of, you know, lessons, you know, because sometimes our artwork can have lessons for us. And I
Yeah.
don't know if anybody watching or listening wants to chime in on that, but if not, I'm kind of curious what your, if you feel like there's a lesson from your
Yes.
artwork. Yeah.
Yes. And you know, the funny thing is, it's like you will see later, like in the exercise that I have for you all to play with. I did that last night for myself. the same colors showed up actually. And like, I picked these blindly, as you kind of saw. So I'm just sharing here, like colors for me, I have my own color meaning, because I meditated on all colors, like what kind of emotion, how they feel, what they mean, like what they stand for. So that's part of how I use intuitive drawings for to access my inner wisdom and for clients. So the purple color stands for spirituality, soulfulness, and connecting to your intuition. So that showed up here. And then the other color is a red, which is like super, like a power color, which is so interesting. So then, like with a feather, that was the inspiration. Oh, and then there's this hot pink that's showing like up like this. And hot pink would be, I'm not fully sure, like I didn't color code that in my meditation, but it feels like a feminine power color. So what I'm getting from
it's
this,
a hot pink. It's not like a soft, vulnerable pink.
Yeah,
It's like in
it's very
between
powerful. Yeah, exactly. So what I didn't ask a question with this one. I just floated freely. So it's more like I feel it shows like the energy of this present moment and the curiosity of, ooh, what we're doing here is like stepping into your power, connecting to intuition, and like growing all that, right? It's like, yeah, that's what I'm getting from it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's wonderful. And I'm glad that we didn't ask a specific question yet, because I know that's something that you're going to kind of take us through. And this really felt great for just almost warming up to the idea, warming up and letting yourself kind of play, so that when you do this next one, it'll be just as powerful. And yours really connected to this theme of ease and flow too.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it's so funny when you do that, as you did your own. I wonder if you noticed too that how they can be so powerful. Like, because I did this for me, and this is reflecting something that's coming from my deeper subconscious, higher self. It's like it literally makes me feel good in my body to look at it. It's just like, what does that mean? It's almost like it's telling me something, it's like some wisdom coming through. It's really awesome. So
well, yeah, because I mentioned the monkey mind. My monkey mind isn't telling me that I'm growing rapidly. It's not giving me credit, right? That's my wisdom and my higher self. Like that voice that came through was more of my natural self, like my true self. My monkey mind will be very quick to tell me, oh, you're not doing enough. That wasn't the right green. Those leaves are too big.
Yes.
Right. But if I don't tap into that, that part of me, it's that everyone always says the still small voice, that you have to kind of quiet and plug into that to really hear it.
Yeah, you know what I just got? I love that you shared that. And what I just got is that your higher self, your inner wisdom, and when you do things like this, just art therapy stuff, like play stuff that we're doing, this gives you inspiration that empowers you to thrive, right? And the monkey mind like holds you down, like it makes you play small. This, as you like, even in this image, you can see it's powerful. It inspires you to play big.
And I didn't get to read. I forgot I wanted to read to you so this was the page that I just to, right? There's a quote on it, and it says, often the fear of not knowing what to do, or the fear of doing something wrong, stops us in our tracks and keeps us from starting. If we can let go of this fear, we open ourselves up to a much larger world of expression, a world where anything is possible.
Yeah, I love it. So powerful. Awesome. Do you want me to hop to my next to my little play thing? Awesome. So we're shooting for an hour or less. So we have about 15 minutes, and we're going with the flow until we feel it's complete and it's giving you what you came here to experience. So So I have something that also allows you to feel the comparison between the rational mind that we're so trained to use and the intuitive mind. So the exercise that I have for you is to close your eyes and to blindly in a second, I'll tell you what to ask yourself. Like, so have your colors ready, kind of like I do, or it doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe have a bunch of colors next to you. Have them in reachable distance. And now close your eyes and just ask yourself, like, please show me 3 colors or energies, color energies that represent my power or my superpowers. And so then grab what comes to you from that question. I'm going to say it one more time. Please show me 3 colors or energies that really represent my powers and superpowers, and pick them blindly without looking. Just whatever feels right. I'm going to do the same again, and then I'll share. Don't overthink it, because I noticed for myself when I started playing with those things, sometimes our mind kicks in and it's like, oh, I don't know how to do this or whatever. If that happens, just shake it up. Shake it up and then like go with wherever, like, yeah, sure, I'll pick that. Up to 3 colors to keep it. If you really feel called to take more, that's fine. But okay, add one more. Let's see what came up for me. All right. Whoa, that's interesting. Slightly different from yesterday. All right. So now that you picked 3 colors, just to do a small spot on a piece of paper where you use them, and then ask yourself what kind of energies, what do you feel from those colors when you look at them? And I can show you my example that came up yesterday. So you see here, I just did like 3 little spots of the colors that showed up. And for me, it was interesting because I had twice the same color, like a kind of pink and hot pink showed up, and then another color. And so when I asked myself that question, just looking at the color, like, what does this represent for me? Well, for me, what came up is like play, creativity, fun, ease, and childlike giddiness. And that is actually a power for me that really drives me. So see what comes up for you. What do those colors feel like? And what kind of powers do you feel they give you? I'm going to give you a moment to sit with that. And then Lanie, if you want to share when you're ready, what comes to you?
Yes.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of, like, for some reason, feminine energy comes to mind when I see these colors. So I ended up with pink, yellow, and red. And so
Cool.
I have, those are my colors there.
Very cool.
I feel I just go with the first words, the first instincts, and not overthink it here.
Yep.
So my yellow was joy and energy.
Nice.
And my pink is play and creativity.
Huh.
And my red, this is kind of unexpected, is speak up.
Oh, that's so cool. So I love what you just role modeled, that you just went with what just came to you, right? And that's exactly how intuition works. That's our inner higher voice. That's our soul speaking. When you just get those hints and like, whoa, what did that word come from, right? Just go with that first thing that comes, and that will be your best wisdom. That's awesome. So what did you get out of this little play exercise? What did that give you, Lanie? I'm curious.
Well, I feel like it's reminding me that I am right where I need to be, and that I need to just keep creating and keep playing, and that I don't have to go out and push and force anything. Even as I go into new activities, new projects, new territory, that I can just show up and keep allowing things to unfold, and that there's no space for burnout. right?
Nice.
And then the speak up part of that feels like um, I've had a history of hiding sometimes,
Yeah.
and so there's space there to keep kind of speaking up and sharing what I believe in and what's important and what has
Yeah.
worked in my life,
Yeah.
because that's only going to be helpful to other people.
Yes, and to you too, right? It's like
Yeah.
both things. As we're playing together, and like we don't have a big crowd at this very moment, but like we grow, and whoever sees it
Totally.
later, it's awesome. So just putting it out there, it's super powerful. Awesome. So that was my first little exercise. You pick the colors blindly. So now I want to give you the comparison. We're gonna pick colors with our open eyes and. Actually choose, which is what we're used to do, right? So the question here is, when you look at your colors, and maybe you want to put all the colors back so you have a choice. So ask yourself, which of these colors feel like they give you power? Just looking at them, like where do you feel you get power? So I'm going to give you a moment to play with that. And then again, ask yourself, when you drew like little dots, ask yourself, what kind of power do you feel you're getting from those colors?
And do you want us to do 3, or is there a number?
3 or less. Like I wouldn't go
Okay.
too far, just to keep it to
Sure.
make you choose, because otherwise you can go far. But it's like the mind process as well. Like 3 is a good number for the mind. Oh, I want to welcome a bunch of people. Leanne is watching, Jana, Rebecca. So hi. So excited to have you all. Yeah, so you're jumping in the middle. We're doing a sacred synchronicity. What did we call it? We're doing
Sacred
a
Synergy Play Shop.
Thank you. I love the synchronicity too.
That works.
It's literally a play shop where we are doing intuitive art exercises that anybody can do. You can play with us to access more of your power and to step out of hustle and to step more into flow and help you grow. So that's what we're playing with. So Lanie, do you want to share what came up for you? Otherwise, I can start.
Yeah, I picked my 2 colors, and then my mind forgot what I was doing.
Oh, that's okay.
I got my colors that give me power, but I didn't necessarily add to that. So my colors are blue. This is like a turquoise blue.
Yeah.
That's always been a favorite of mine. And then this is kind of more of a green, but it's not a blue green. It's like a phthalo green.
Very nice. So the question was to pick from your color palette up to 3 colors that feel like they're giving you power. Not overthinking, but pick with your eyes open and then do little dots, kind of like I did here. And then ask yourself, what kind of power do you think they're giving you for yourself? Like how do they feel? So do you want to share?
Yes,
or do you want a moment?
Ready.
Go ahead.
No, because I'm not overthinking it. I'm just
perfect.
Okay, so my green is grounding. That's my grounding power. And then and then my blue is my healing power.
Nice. Very cool. I love it. Awesome. So I'm going to share mine. So I did these last night. I picked those colors, and I also had like brown was popping out at me actually, because in this life moment, like grounding is a really big topic for me, and it felt really earthy, good. And then this kind of, what do you call that? Burgundy showed up, and that feels like divine feminine superpower for me. And then orange also really popped out. It felt like an action energy, and I felt it kind of in my tummy. That was the other thing that you can ask yourself if you want. Sit with those colors, like, do you feel them somewhere in your body? And does it, like, just looking at it or like being present with that color, does it how does it feel? How does it, like, do you feel the power that you're getting? And I actually got a bunch of that stuff, like the divine feminine. I noticed I felt it in my gut. The grounding felt like a whole centered sort of feeling, like just like being present with that color. So play with that. I'm not going to expend too much more time here, but you can pause the video and do that for yourself. There's a lot of juicy things in there. So what I feel to shift to right now is to explain what we have coming up. If this inspired you to hear more about, we have this cool challenge that we're putting out. And I'm actually going to look at, I can do a quick screen share, which is totally organic and role modeling basically of how I do
with
this.
The flow.
Yes. Exactly. So this is my so-called napkin sketch I did while I was in a restaurant talking with Lanie, enjoying a good beer. We were brainstorming. So we were asking ourselves, so how can we really create a transformation for everybody who's watching this play shop with us? Because this is obviously just a taster, right? And you don't really integrate so much. Our body really starts shifting, and we form new habits if we play with things like 3 or 4 days in a row. Then suddenly something shifts and like big things start to happen, and you actually feel the benefits, right? So we came up with this idea to do an 8-day Sacred Synergy Transformation Challenge with the intention that it can literally help you shift into a new way of being, where with only 8 minutes each day for 8 days, we wanted to keep it like abundance and flow number. We love like positive universe numbers, very symbolic. But with only 8 minutes each day, you can step into play and really like feel into this inner power that is waiting for you. So that can help you shift to make this a habit, to start your days in a playful way, and you will get to experience different modalities from us, all playful, of how you can start your day in a way that really gives you an awesome, grounded, centered inspiration for the day, so that literally everything becomes easier in your life. You feel better, you'll be more focused. All kinds of awesome benefits will wait for you if you take on that new way of being. And this is what Lanie and I have been playing with. So this is the napkin sketch here. 8 days, 8 minutes every day. And what we will do is all you'll need is a journal. It can be any kind of favorite journal, ideally with empty pages, but if you prefer lined, that's fine. A bunch of colors. It can be any kinds of colors, crayons or pens. It doesn't really matter. And then just the 8 minutes in a sacred space where you feel inspired or just have quiet time. That's all you'll need. And then what we will do, we create a sacred small Facebook group where Lanie and I will pop on in the morning with one inspiration for you for the day to play with those 8 minutes. You get a creativity inspiration that you can play with. And every day there will be something different that we're doing. So we're pulling from our treasured chests of inspiration, of things that really made us feel good, from our coaching, from our intuitive art playgrounds, and from our ways of really tapping into that inner wisdom and Zenpreneur balance, all that stuff. So you get ton of awesome stuff from that. And then the last bit that we also have in there, after this Facebook group where you can share what comes up for you, you can do pictures, videos, whatever you want to share with others. Then we do a 1-hour call with Lanie and me where we do Q&A, and where you can be with us and share what came up for you, share how your life shifted, and the transformations that you got. And that's really a huge possibility, because you get accountability from us being there in 8 days. So you want to play because everybody else is. It's much easier than doing this by yourself. So I feel it's a really cool thing that we have lined up here. So if you feel inspired to hop on, we're offering this for like super affordable, that anybody pretty much is a no-brainer. If you feel inspired, this calls you. We decided to just open this up for $48. Again, like abundance flow numbers. You start with 4 and then 8, whatever. I played with numbers. So that's it. And we're starting it next week on Wednesday. And that's, what is that? Like May? I forgot. Let me see.
Oh, that would be the 9th.
The 9th. There you go. Yeah, that's it. So did I forget something, Lanie? What did you want to?
No, I think you included everything. Yeah, it'll be a a balance between the intuitive art and then the eco art, and just you'll get an opportunity to play with all different experientials to see what feels really good for you.
Yeah.
So you can learn, how you best kind of co-create with the universe and step into more of that ease and flow where you're trusting your intuition.
Yeah.
And that really just shifts things so that you don't have to be in hustle.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I love it. So if you're ready to try on something new to see where that will lead you, then and this, you feel this calls you, then just leave a message as you're watching this on Facebook. And we will send you a private invitation, because we're just doing it organically. It's no big launch sort of strategy behind it.
Just going with the flow.
Yeah, just going with the flow. So message us, tag us, and we will invite you to that space. And we will love to play with you together to literally help you also to transform your life, just like we did it, where you'll have more time to be outside. You do much less. You feel really good in your skin, like from the gut. You feel in touch with your power. You get great ideas that shift your life and your business in much bigger, more colorful ways. And you let the hustle go, and bigger things happen anyway. So you want to join us in that.
Attracting more opportunity when you're in that place.
Yeah. And yeah, you'll learn more about the why as well, because we will share, like when you're present with us, I know this always happens, that additional wisdom will come through, whatever is needed at that day. Like we follow our intuition. So we will consider whatever shows up for you, input, and whatever we get, like, hey, mention that. So you get us as well as coaches present for you. So yep, that's it, I think. Or let's call it a day. We're at an hour. So thank you so much, Lanie, for having been here.
Yeah, I'm so glad we did it. And before the sun sets, because it's starting to get chilly out here.
Oh, yeah, perfect timing. So thanks, everyone, for watching. We're looking forward to your questions. And whoever is ready to play, message us, and we will take it away. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
And thank you so much.